Right back at you.
Another day, another week, another Around the Shield, man. We got something special cooked up for y'all today.
Yes, sir.
Y'all watch any movies lately? Like any I don't know if anybody's into like Marvel. I know Severe. You into
I watched Sinners recently. Was the last one I
That's
watched.
awesome. Yeah,
I
that
gotta
was
check
dope.
that out.
I watched
I
that
got-
too.
Fire,
That
bro.
was dope.
For
Yeah,
real?
like-
Is like best movie so far? Like at it's not summer, but you know.
Yeah, but
Hands
best
down,
movie
bro.
2025. Yeah, best movie 2025.
Wow, best movie 2025. Michael B. Jordan finally had a good acting performance.
He had a good idea. Oh yeah. I mean, probably his best one.
He's overrated. He is
Fruitvale.
overrated. Like from his past
man.
movies. His past movie. That's this whole different conversation. But man,
You know, like Fruitvale?
Fruitvale was Fruitvale was corny. But well, not the story itself, but like his performance. I
Don't like
just-
Killmonger, bro? Like
Killmonger was. I like the movie Black Panther, but like I just feel like Michael B. Jordan is not like he's not the greatest. He's not the greatest actor, but I heard he killed it in the Sinners movie. He did a good job. So
yeah,
gotta check it out. But make sure to clock in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Here we go.
Great Pharaoh, the gift of Troy is a fabulous fabric from the land of the five rivers.
ATS 30, 35, 40. Midfield, McMahon breaks the tackle. He's gone! 10, 5, touchdown! Raiders!
2 years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
We are back for another edition of Around the Shield, man. Hey, it's gonna be a great show today, man, because we got some special guests in the building, man. We got Jay Raider from Just Raiders Baby podcast in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through, man. We got a
salute.
Got you in the building. And we got one of our guys, man. Hey, man, he's been supporting the show. Obviously, very knowledgeable Raider fan. My guy, Mint Beats in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through.
Appreciate y'all having me, man. What's good, nation?
What's good, man? Hey, what's going on with everybody, man? Make sure to click in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Man, we got a lot to talk about today, man. We want you on the show because we want to have a good conversation and we want to hear a different perspective because I'm tired of hearing the Severe. Sometimes I'll just be tired of hearing what Severe got to say. You know what I mean? So I got to hear from Jay. I want to hear from Mint. Let's start with the Severe, my guy. By the way, y'all. I know people gonna try to be in the chat. Just try to start something.
Severe and Pharaoh beefing.
Yeah, for real. But let's start with Jay, man. I think the last time we spoke, it was on your show. We were talking about this prior to the draft, and we were talking about like. We don't see the Raiders. I think at the time I was saying I don't see the Raiders picking a running back with the number 6 pick. They went ahead and just drafted Genty with the number 6 pick. Yep. Were you surprised by the move, and how do you like it?
I was a little bit surprised about the move. It was either that or they're gonna go ahead and get Shadur, because once Graham went off the board. Those were the two options, or trade back. So I'm chomping at the bit, and then I hear Genty's name, and I'm like, okay, not my first pick, not the way that I would have done it, but it is what it is. We got the best running back, literally in the draft. I ain't mad at it. The way that Shadur went kind of down was very dramatic, but. It is what it is. We went out and they felt that the biggest need was a running back. And that's what we went out and got. Yep.
No, I mean, running back is definitely a big need, but I think the conversation starts with value. I think that's where people will argue like, should you take a running back top 10? That's like where the argument is. I think no one really questions like, Ashton Genty, the talent. I don't know. I mean, Mint, do you feel like Genty is a guy that is worth a number 6 overall pick? Do you think he is a me and Severe went back and we go back and forth on this. Is he a generational player?
I don't think he's generational. I think if you look at just the people that were available at 6, he probably was the closest thing to a blue chipper that was left. I mean, I was hoping that Mason Graham will fall. That was like really my preference, or just trade down and try to get I was a big fan of Jahdae Barron too. I thought that he would be really fun to watch with like Pete Carroll and Patrick Graham, just kind of scheming him, kind of replacing Trayvon Merrick as far as like being a joker on the defensive side. But with the way the board fell, it wasn't my personal preference, but I could see why they took Genty as the first pick of this new era of the organization.
Yeah, and I think he dropped all the way to the Broncos, I believe, like pick number 20 or something like that. So he kind of dropped a little bit. And a lot of people thought he was going to go like maybe top 10, top 15. He ended up going top 20, which that's how the draft rolls sometimes. And we talked about that, like me and Severe, we talked about that a lot. Like, as much as we could do these mock drafts, like, there's always going to be a level of, like, we're not going to see this coming. There's going to be a player that drops. I think this draft was the Shadur Sanders dropping all the way down to the 5th round.
That was wild.
No one's seen that coming. I don't think anybody's seen that coming.
No one saw that coming
at all.
That was crazy.
Yeah, man. And Jay, you talked about that. I mean, where would you have thought that Shadur would have went? Like, in the 1st round, 2nd round, or where'd you see going?
I honestly thought he was going to go in the 1st round. I think a lot of the projections initially had him going no lower than 15th, 18th, something like that. And then
like
I think
Steelers,
the one like Steelers, like I think the 2 days before the draft, it was around the Steeler pick, and a lot the consensus probably was that they were going to get drafted. He was going to get drafted by the Steelers, and that didn't happen. I think once we passed him up, and the Jets passed him up, Saints passed him up, and you saw that trickle down effect, they were like, all right, we're good on that.
Yeah.
We could go into the whole conspiracy theory thing about, him potentially getting essentially backballed the first 4 rounds of the draft. But it appears that some of these GMs talked, and that's why he fell off the board, all the way down to the 5th round. There's a lot of things that could contribute to that. But at the end of the day, he got picked up. I knew he was going to get picked up. I knew after the 3rd day. So on that 2nd day, when the Spy Tech had that presser, he gave a little bit away that I knew that we weren't going to draft them. And they talked about going to the combine and going to these pro days and all that, and going after and interviewing guys that don't feel entitled. That was a magic word, entitled. And I'm like, that's it. We're not getting Shadur. Shadur's gone for us. Somebody else is going to pick him up. And that's what it ended up being.
Man, the 5th round. I wouldn't mind like Shadur in the 4th or 5th round, and just seeing how that would work out. But it is what it is. Like, at the end of the day, we don't know what happened behind closed doors. There's a level of I felt like the league was trying to teach him a lesson, some weird lesson. It felt like a little bit. All these GMs all at once wanted to collaborate and not. It just felt. I felt that a little bit, but then the other side to me is is Shadur really that good? You know what I mean? If Shadur was a guy that ran 4.3, had a rocket arm, and was I think his talent. What I'm saying is, I don't know. I'm not sure if his talent was big enough to have a lot of these GMs look the other way. Just a little. You know what I mean? I don't think I think we can all agree that we didn't want Shadur at number 6.
Fact.
Well,
Jay, did you? I
don't know.
Jay and Rundown, Jay and Rundown, man. It was.
I mean, hey, I didn't mind trading back and getting him, but if it's at 6, cool. I'm with it 100%. But it just kind of once we didn't get him in the first, my process. Okay, cool. There's going to be at some point in the 2nd or 3rd that we're going to go ahead and pick this up. And it's funny, I was on with Jeff, right? Shout out to Jeff. I was on the show on day 2. And I kept teasing him because he's not about Shadur. So I'm like, watch, he's gonna be up on the board. Are we gonna pick him? And we get to this 56th pick, he's still on the board. Are we gonna get? And then we didn't get him. And then come the 3rd round, we didn't get him again. And then we had 2 more picks, and we still didn't get him. I'm like, okay, there's something going on here. What's up? Because at some point when there was a quarterback needy team, they did not pick him. I was very surprised. I'm like, okay, there's something more to this for sure.
Yeah, man. It's a whole lot of conspiracies. People saying that it was this and that. I've heard things like the NFL know how much a following that Shadur is. He has a huge following, so it was good business to have him kind of be the topic of the draft throughout the draft. I heard that, and I'm like, I don't know, man. And then some people saying a lot of people hate Deion. And it's their way of getting back at Deion, that type of stuff. I don't know. We could be here all day talking about the tradition. You want to say something? Yeah.
Yeah, real quick. I feel like a bigger problem too was there's a lot of fragile organizations in the league. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think we lost Jay. Yeah, go ahead.
I just feel like there's a lot of fragile organizations that are quarterback needy that didn't want to take that chance on Shadur and possibly wreck their chances as far as being employed, because it's obviously you're drafting Shadur not to be a backup quarterback, you're drafting him to be a franchise quarterback. It's a little different. And once he fell out of the first, it's historically we know I think Jalen Hurts was the last round 2 quarterback to be drafted that actually panned out. Before that was maybe Derek Carr. So you're in for a slide. I just didn't think that I didn't see him dropping past the 3rd. Especially getting drafted after Dylan Gabriel. I just feel like he has. Yeah, it's because if you're if you're going to advocate for Dillon Gabriel, a lot of the things that you're advocating for Dillon Gabriel are going to be applicable to Shadur Sanders. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the skill set's very similar. I mean, you could talk about the arm strength if you want. Maybe it's just, I feel like another thing that really stood out about just Shadur's fall was he's only been coached by his dad. And that tells me, I mean, I want to know, I would be doing research. Okay, like, did he coach him in basketball? Did he coach him in every sport that he did? Because I want to know if I could coach him as like a person that's not his father. You know what I mean? And how is he, how susceptible is he to that type of feedback? And I feel like that has turned a lot of people off. But man, I mean, I'm kind of with you, Jay. I feel like Tonka Hemingway around that pick, I would be willing to take a chance on Shadur, but
that Tonka Hemingway pick, man, that pick right there. Well, let's pivot. Let's pivot. Yeah. Go ahead. Finish your thought. Bro.
I was just gonna say, just especially if you take JJ Pegues right after that. You know what I mean? Like JJ Pegues is, by a lot of people's standards, a better prospect. So it's like, I don't understand the logic there. I mean, obviously building up depth, but that's where I would consider taking Shadur if I was the Raiders.
Yeah. Well, speaking about Hemingway and some of these Raider draft picks, I mean, what did you think of the draft class? What if you had to give it a letter grade? I know it's like early, but like your early thoughts, like what it would be? What grade would you give this draft?
I'll give it a solid B. I feel like they addressed a lot of needs in free agency to allow for them to not reach. And I feel like that's something that in the past organization hasn't really done. Obviously, getting a running back early, I don't really like that, but I can see why they did it. And then getting some high upside guys too. You know, like we got a high upside guy in the third round with that long, lengthy cornerback that fits the mold of Pete Carroll. And then even in the latter half, I mean, obviously it's kind of perplexing. Like you're drafting a dude from the FCS level as like a prospect, as a quarterback, and then you turn around and you get Tommy Mellott as well. I'm actually like really excited to see Tommy Mellott though, because I feel like he's just a football player. You know what I mean? And I'm obviously looking over Thornton as well. I feel like Thornton's a really interesting guy. Jack Besh is going to be someone that's going to be a fan favorite. I feel like once he suits up, he's going to be someone that, just like Jacoby Myers, I feel like he's going to be someone that contributes in a whole bunch of different ways. I feel like you could put him at gunner on special teams, and he's going to give you results. You know what I mean? He's just a gritty guy. So I feel like we filled our organization with a lot of great men, people that love the game, and that's something that I feel like is really important to build a sustainable culture for years to come.
And that's kind of been the key too with Pete Carroll and everybody. That all I've been hearing is like the reason why Pete Carroll is getting hired is because he's going to bring that culture. He's going to bring that winning. So it kind of, I guess, makes sense, especially because the Raiders, they've been bad for so long. Like we need to set the foundation right, but we'll see. I mean, what did you think of Pete Carroll, the hire, by the way? I want to know, like, what did you think about him? Because I don't know. I'll speak for myself, but I was like disgusted at first. Not that I hate Pete Carroll as a head coach. He's a Hall of Fame coach. I get it, but I was disgusted in that, like, damn man, like, why do the Raiders have to be the first team to do the weirdest thing? Like, why do we got to hire the oldest coach of all time? Why do we have to? That's not a stat that I want the Raiders to be a part of. But what was your first thought?
Yeah, bro, I definitely was there for the reactions from you and Severe for sure, as far as just like not wanting, an elder statesman, so to speak, as the leader of our franchise. Yeah, but I in hindsight, I feel like I was thinking about this today. I view Pete Carroll as like that company seminar meeting guy that like comes in and like, it's like, okay, like we got to get the energy up for our organization. So we're going to bring this dude in to just kind of be like an influx of energy, get people to like think about their daily routines in a different way. I feel like I view him more as like a lease than obviously like a full out purchase. And why I view it like that is because we have Chip Kelly, okay, but in Patrick Graham, he's someone that's getting like head coaching interviews. or he's definitely interested in a head coaching position, but I don't know if he's capable of building a winning culture. You know what I mean? And I would say that bringing in Pete Carroll, and also I'm more excited about John Spytek. I feel like John Spytek is going to be really the craftsman behind the success of the Raiders.
Hey, man, did you see the chess moves he was making? Like,
bro, he was nice with it. He was cooking. He was cooking.
Like, he had everybody thinking. He had everybody thinking that we're gonna take Kelvin Banks, and Severe, your guy Todd McShay talked about how I think in a recent episode he was saying that Spytek, he pulled a fast one on everybody, including himself. Like how he the perfect timing in putting out that the Raiders were interested in Kelvin Banks, and in years past. Like there was a situation where, the Raiders were interested in DJ Hayden, and it came out the same day as the draft. They weren't connected to DJ Hayden until the day of the draft. No one believed it. Raiders ended up drafting DJ Hayden. Fast forward, everybody was like, oh, okay, the Raiders are now interested in Kelvin Banks. Oh my God, yada yada yada. And man, he just pulled the right strings. He got the players that he wanted, traded down. But go ahead, man. You finish your thought, bro.
Yeah, not even not bringing in Tommy Millott too. I mean, that's such a niche, deep cut thing to do. It's like, bro, you're gonna take it there. Shows me that you're dedicated to the craft. Like you're in for the full. I'm hiding every single move that I can. No one's gonna know about our contract negotiations. No one's gonna know about all these processes. And that's I feel like that's a serious organization attitude. I can. Now look at the Raiders and be like, okay, there's adults in the room. Obviously, that's kind of like a buzzword, but I see a lot of that. But what I was talking about with Pete Carroll, it's I see him more of a lease and him handing off the culture that should be sustainable with John Spytek bringing in the right people into the organization with a strong foundation to either a Patrick Graham or a Chip Kelly, and then we just kind of keep moving. That's obviously fingers crossed. That's what we hope happens, but. That's kind of how I'm framing it in my mind to make it make sense, but I can see the pessimistic side as well. So that's pretty much what my thoughts are.
Yeah, man, it's all good. But Jay, man, going back to the Raiders, who was your favorite draft pick? Raiders minicamp is tomorrow, so we're gonna see. We're gonna hear about these rookies real soon.
Honestly, I think people will probably be surprised, but normally we'll probably either be Ash Agenti or even Besh, but it's actually Dante Thornton. I'm very excited about him. I feel that.
I think we lost you.
I think audio. We lost you. Audio.
Your audio. Yeah, I don't know if it's muted on your end or what's going on.
No way.
It was working for a second, man.
I thought I heard something. Yeah, but Dante Thornton was my guy too. And I think the reason I like that pick, it was him or Porter. I also like the Charles Grant pick because I was talking about. Yeah, we got you. Now go ahead, finish your thought, brother.
Oh, okay. So honestly, it's Dante Thornton. We got our tall receiver, 6'5", 210 guy who runs a 4.3. That's our guy who can go ahead and literally stretch the field. That's our field stretcher alongside Trey Tucker. So, and not only that, but he can also contest for those 50-50 balls, can go for those, back shoulder fade catches in the red zone. So I'm very excited to go ahead and see what he does. Obviously, there's things to go ahead and work on, right? There's been mention of he has a little bit limited of a route tree, which is fine. That's something that could definitely be worked on. But I'm very interested to see what he does. I'm also excited about Bash. He's really good. But my favorite pick is Thornton for sure.
Coach, can you hear it now? I think this is from earlier.
Yeah, probably when the sound was first one out. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man. Hey. Me and Severe pre-draft, doing the mocks, we were Thornton was a guy that we kind of was oh, okay, this might be a nice guy to pick up in the 5th or 6th round. Yeah. He went a little bit earlier than I thought, but man, 6'5", 4.3 speed. I mean, his vert was okay, but when you're 6'5" and you can run like the wind, you could, man, and it definitely is it's a boomer bust pick, definitely a boomer bust pick, but. To me, like I said the other day, I think it's you can make an argument like it's a good combination of good safe picks and some aggressive, like, a lot of traits in some of these players, and you're betting on their potential in the later round picks. But we'll see, man. You can't really judge a draft class until like what, year 3? Year 3, I think is like where you could check in. But we'll see, man. What are like anything? Like, are you guys gonna be expecting anything from like a rookie minicamp? Is there anything that you want to hear from minicamp? I mean, it's kind of early though, like for us to.
I keep it a bucket. I feel like it's gonna be. You can take this stuff with a grain of salt, bro. I just hope everyone's healthy. That's all you can really hope for.
Yeah, exactly.
I ain't gonna look too much into it.
Right, and they're not really with the team. It's just going to be all rookies, right? So it's not going to be actually with the entire team, which I don't think they don't have mandatory mini camp with the team until what, like later, like in June? Is it in June?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's in June. Yeah, I think it's June.
I think it's sometime in June, and then there's like going to be that long like layoff of nothing. Yeah. No football, no news, nothing until like training camp. It's like a good like month.
And I don't think they've even officially announced when the training camp is or where it's going to be at. So.
Oh, that's right, man. We all thought it was going to be back to Northern California in Napa.
Yeah, no, they vetoed that.
Man,
they vetoed that or something like that.
That's actually a good point. Man, where would they have it? It's back to.
It might be in Vegas.
It
might be in Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the disadvantage though, a little bit, just because like they really have to wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning just for it to be like 70 degrees outside. Yeah. Like when it's 80, 90 degrees at like 8 a.m., 6 a.m., you're getting fried out there. So it's hot. Yeah. It's crazy hot.
Hey, so we got the rookie mini camp starts tomorrow. That's the 9th through the 11th. Then we got OTAs. They start on the 19th. So basically the 19th, then the 21st to the 22nd, then the 27th, then the 29th and the 30th, and then June 2nd through June 5th. Then mandatory mini camp is June 10th through June 12th. And then, like I said, they haven't announced when training camp is going to be. So there's a whole bunch of workouts and stuff coming up. So
usually like late July. Like late July is when they report. Yeah. It's always like around late July.
Usually.
Yeah, but as far as where though, that's going to be. It's
Vegas
probably
most likely.
Yeah,
Vegas most likely.
It's probably too last minute to like really pivot from because it sound like there was a chance that was gonna be in Northern California. Man, I was gonna stop by, check the Raiders out, give you some intel. Like, hey, man, Thornton is trash. No, I'm just playing.
Like he ain't working out, bro. He ain't making the roster.
But that being said, I do think that like. From these mini camps, maybe not from the rookie mini camp, but like the overall team mini camps, which is going to happen a little bit after this. Do you think that's where they're going to be like, all right, we need to get a linebacker, or we need to get a veteran receiver because it's not looking too good. Like we can't go into training camp or into the season with what we currently have. Now, if that happens, is there anybody in mind that you guys have? I mean, Jay, is there anybody out there that you would want to pick up possibly or check, see if they're out there?
I feel the bigger need is probably linebacker, and I don't know if a lot of people would agree on this. I would think that it is linebacker, man. But for some reason, they're cool with the linebacker, or they're waiting for something, right? They're waiting to see who becomes available. We just had a couple of people become available with cuts on receiver and on the defensive side of ball, but it might be one of those things where they're just probably waiting to see who gets cut, who is available on waivers. It could be that type of situation, right?
Yep.
I mean, I like Simmons. I would take a flyer on him. I definitely think we need more depth on that linebacker room. It is worrisome, to be honest with you. That cover really at cover linebacker, there's not really anything. So I hope to see something done about that, of more depth, more competition, just to really kind of secure. But anything from the trenches, we're good. I'm not worried about that. But anything from past the trenches, that's where it starts getting a little dicey. Yeah, we picked up Darren Port. He's great. I feel he's going to be a day one starter, but we still have issues. We still have issues at nickel, right? Who's going to play nickel? And right now it looks like it's Darnay Holmes.
Right.
Because there ain't nobody else.
Yeah.
And then we got Chin and Paul Mao, but there's also the issues been raised about free safety, right? Could we could use a free safety out there as well. So, those are little things that we do need to tweak up before the season starts. We still have time, so I'm not a whole lot of worried about it, but it definitely needs to be addressed for sure.
So you're not a big believer in Devin White, is what you're trying to tell me?
I mean, if you can roll back time, yeah, but you never know. Hey, it might be a thing where Robbie Leonard is just a linebacker whisperer. He might turn him around. You never know. It might be one of those things, right? But we hope it is the case, right? Because it's in our best interest that he works out. I mean, he literally came on almost. Yeah. He came over basically for free, right? Guys literally working for, just for a free stay at this point. I mean, so we're not losing anything. We're not really, and if it works out great, we look like geniuses. And if it doesn't, we're not really losing anything, But obviously, we hope that it does work out with Devin. But we just literally have him and Landon Roberts right now, and Cody Lindenberg. We picked up Josh Joyner, and I feel good about him, but we still need some more depth. We got some other guys that they've been around, questionable. So I don't know.
It's interesting, and I guess it's a question for everybody because when they talk about Devin White, they say the best thing about him is blitzing. You know what I mean? Stopping the run. Yeah. I don't know him in coverage. I don't know, but him as a blitzer. So I'm wondering, like, is there a way where they can find a way to get him in more like third and long situations? You have him out there and you have him like be a pass rusher, or is that something that's too much? I mean, Severe Mint, like, I don't know, y'all can speak to this. Like, is there a world where you can see Devin White like be a pass rusher on like third and long type of situation, or is that outside of his wheelhouse?
You gonna go first, sir?
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you wanted to get a team to third and long, first thing you gotta do is stop the run. And so, that's something we haven't really had a lot of success in doing. And that's something that Devin is not really that great at doing. So, he probably won't be. But, you get a guy like a Landon Roberts. He's a heat-seeking missile, in the run game. So that's we're going to probably go like 4-2-5, or last year we played with a lot of 5-man front. So with all the defensive tackles we have, I can see us doing something similar this year, playing a lot of 5-man fronts, especially on those early downs. And then maybe you can get a guy like Devin White on the field, utilize his prowess as a blitzer, because quite frankly, he's liability in coverage. He's not really great against the run because he misses a lot of tackles, over pursues a lot. But he is a guy that can, great athlete, excellent blitzer, and when he gets to the quarterback, he has a pretty good does a pretty good job of attacking the ball and forcing fumbles. So he's a guy that if you get him to third and long, then that's kind of where his skill set kicks in a little bit more. But the job is to get him there first, and that's something we haven't been doing well as of late.
And the reason why I bring that up, Mint, is because I'm thinking about like the Raiders pass rush. I feel like the defense is going to go with how the pass rush is going to go. You know what I mean? It's not like we have elite secondary players. I feel like our strength on defense is led by Max Crosby. Then you add in Christian Wilkins if he's healthy, and if Kuntz, if he's back to where he was or what everybody envisioned him before the season last season, and before he got hurt, you throw him in there. But then after Kuntz, we seen how our lack of depth kind of hurt us a little bit. It kind of did. Losing Kuntz kind of was a shot to the team. you could hear the players talk about it after the season, how like, man, when Kuntz got hurt, it was like, man, like you could hear a pin drop in the locker room. So it was a big. So what I'm trying to say is like, who would be that guy outside of Max and Kuntz to get after the quarterback?
I think it's going to be a collection of guys. I was going to bring up the same thing, Severe, as far as the 5-man fronts. And even if it's not necessarily a 5-man front, it could be also just A-gap blitzes. And with Devin White, I feel like with a player like him, he's athletic, right? He's young, he's 27, doesn't have too bad of an injury history. You want to make the game as simple as possible for him to play fast, and be able to utilize his assets a little bit better and not put him in situations where like he's dropping into coverage, situations like that. So I could see him being more so like a chess piece. And I mean, if we keep it a buck, it's just going to be a puzzle the whole year for Patrick Graham to utilize all these pieces to supplement the pass rush. But with the 5-man front too, I mean, we got JJ Pegues, who has a lot of reps lining up at like, I think it's 5 and 7 technique, which is crazy for, I mean, he was an ex-tight end, so he has a lot of bend. Yeah, he's a big dude. So it's going to be interesting to see how they implement him in the pass rush scheme. But I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be a group effort when it comes to rushing the passer. And we saw even opportunities or situations where Trayvon Merrick was blitzing and getting legitimate pressure, last year. So I feel like we got to kind of like view this a little bit more abstractly from a standpoint of like, it's kind of going to be positionless. I mean, we have a lot of situations where we have 3 safeties on the field, and we're going to have Jeremy Chin lined up at slot. I don't know how efficient he's going to be there, but he takes snaps there.
Right.
But I feel like they should definitely go out, like you're saying, Jay, and get someone to fill that slot position, that star position. Maybe Mike Hilton. I feel like he's a guy that I would lock in on right now. And then as far as the linebackers go, man, I would just let the season play out, or let at least not the season, but
season.
Let the training camp situation play out. Yeah, because I think Cody Lindenberg is going to play. Like he's not our what's the homeboy that we drafted last year? That
Tommy
your favorite
Eichenberg?
player, Severe. Yeah, he's not Tommy Eichenberg. He's not Tommy Eichenberg. This dude actually balls out. Like he's not athletic, but he's an effective linebacker. Bro's played linebacker his whole career. If you look at his tape, he's had a little bit of like nagging injuries, I guess, throughout his college career, but nothing significant. But I feel like he's going to get a significant run this year.
Yeah, and man, shout out to Kenny, man. And this is what I was trying to allude to, is if you guys didn't have an answer to it, and you guys already did. So, like, man, I can't even ask this question no more now. I'm playing. Clowney's available. So the Panthers recently cut him. Do you think that it would be a good idea to add a Clowney? Are you going to pass on that? We already have kind of our, pass rush kind of like taken care of. Or is Clowney an option? Because he's a guy that, he can stop the run.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's a premier pass rusher, but he's a guy that's gotten like 7-8 sacks. When you got a guy like Max Crosby and then everybody else, if he's your 3rd or 4th pass rusher, that's a pretty good deal. I'm not sure what he's going to be asking for because he's out there in the open market. But what are your guys' thoughts on Clowney? Like, would it be a good idea to pick him up, or is it not the right move for the Raiders at this time?
I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on him. It's kind of your insurance policy to Malcolm Kuntz. So what if Malcolm Kuntz goes down? What if he gets re-injured and he's out again for the season? It could definitely happen, right? And picking up Clowney kind of gives you that insurance coverage. You're good. You have another rusher that can go ahead and fill in the position. Something that hopefully, fingers crossed, that Kuntz comes back and has a full season, is healthy and balls out, right? That's what we expect, especially him taking on that 1-year prove-it deal. It's literally you got to put up or shut up. this is his year. So, but if in case that doesn't work out, either he regresses or he gets injured or whatever, you have that insurance policy. We could on that position. It is definitely okay to go ahead and have some depth on that for sure.
Yeah, and I think and I'm gonna let someone chime in on this as well. Like, I think also Clowney getting signed too would be a huge sign on how the Raiders feel about Tyree, for sure.
Yes,
but Mint, what do you think of I can't even say his first name. It's tongue twister.
Jadavian
Clowney. Yeah. What are your thoughts on him, Mint?
I'm walking. I'm not running. As far as to sign him, I feel like he's a veteran. I feel like he's gonna be available well into training camp, maybe even the beginning of preseason. He's gonna be selective with because he's at the point in his career where he's gonna want either a check or he's gonna want to actually compete for a championship. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he's going to be interested in joining the Raiders, and I don't know if John Spytek's going to want to bring a dude that might just not break the culture up or anything like that. He's not a bad locker room guy as far as I'm aware, but we're kind of marrying ourselves to a youth movement. So I feel like the Raiders are telling us they're going to want to win right now, but I don't think that that's their entire mission. I feel like they're going to actually just try to get a lot of people some significant reps and experience this year while being competitive, right? We're not going to just lay down and try to go 4-13, I would definitely see how his interests, and I think I would check in if there's a camp injury or something like that and go from there. But I'm walking, I'm not running to see if Clowney's interested in joining the Raiders.
Makes sense. Because, Severe, you probably speak to this, but we've kind of said that 2026 is probably going to be the year where you could see the Raiders actually competing. If all goes right, if we all make the right moves, another offseason, another draft, another free agency class,
Pete Carroll surviving.
Pete Carroll surviving. Whoo, damn, man. Man, but
yeah, man. In terms of Jadavian Clowney, I'm probably taking a pass on him, just for one reason and one reason only, because I don't want any excuses for Tyree Wilson. This is your year, bro. I don't want it to be any situation where it's you put a veteran in front of him, what you expect, and nah, bro. You got beat out last year by a street free agent journeyman in Charles Snowden and a first round guy labeled as a bust and Caleb Von Chasen. They both came in and outplayed you, to be honest. So, now Chasen, he's on to greener pastures. He went to New England. Charles Snowden is still here. Tyree is still here. And the only thing really keeping Tyree Wilson on this team is the fact that he was a former first overall pick, or for a top 10 pick and our first overall pick in that particular draft. That's the only thing really keeping him here. He hasn't developed a single pass rush move yet. He sets a good edge in the run game, but you don't draft a guy top 10 as an edge to be good against the run and essentially a liability everywhere else. So we're going to see what happens this year. This is every year is an excuse. His first year, he has a foot injury. And then the second year, he's basically a rookie because last year he had the foot injury. So now this is year 3. So I don't know what people are going to say now. This is sophomore slump because last year was he's going to probably come up with an excuse still. But after this year, bro, if you don't show and prove, I'm done with you. You got to kick rocks. You got to go somewhere else. Legitimately, people tried to trash Clelin Ferrell. Clelin Ferrell was a better player than Tyree Wilson. We gave up on Arden Key. Arden Key is a better player than Tyree Wilson at this juncture. So I don't want to hear no more excuses. Bro, you got to put up or shut up at this point.
Yeah, I mean, and my guy Sin in the building, man, he says, what about Tyree is not working? Well, to start off, he's number 7th overall pick. And when we first hit our first experience of watching Tyree on the football field, he literally was stuck in the ground. His cleats, they call hike. He could literally barely get the snap right. I feel like he's improved, obviously, from that. But when you pick a guy number 7th overall, you would think you would get a little bit more pass rush production out of him. I think he might be good against the run. I think he could say that that's probably his strength, but I don't think he has a lot in his toolkit. Maybe he has a bull rush, but I'm not sure if he has a counter. Does he have something else up his sleeve? Mint, it sounds like you want to speak to this.
Yeah, man, I feel like that's what I agree with you, Severe. I feel like bringing in Clowney would get in the way of evaluating truly Tyree Wilson's impact in significant playing environments. Like I want to see him play against a division rival and see if he can make an impact play. Granted, I feel like we all can agree he's making progress. It's just not the type of progress you want to see out of a 7th round or 7th overall pick. You know what I mean? Especially, being 6'6", 265 pounds, being a power forward coming off the edge. It's like you want to see those tools come together a little bit more. And, I just don't like and I know this is I guess this is a little bit like observatory, I guess, is what I'm going to say. But I feel like it's kind of telling that Max doesn't really like include him in a lot of ways when he's talking about and I don't like being that guy that's like jumping to conclusions, but I just don't like the way that he's not like advocating for him. Like, oh, he's getting better like he did with Malcolm Kuntz. Right. But I could be reading too much into that, but I think
you're right,
man. It's like the opposite, bro. It's the opposite. You remember last offseason when Nate Hobbs and Max were talking about basketball and Tyree's name came up? They were like, oh no, he has two left feet. Like, he's stiff as hell. It's just like, man, they're just making him seem like a goofball. Like he doesn't have any type of like, it just
and like and you could be stiff, bro. Like you could be stiff and be like successful as an end. Because I always saw him as a Chris Jones type of guy. Like he has that build, right? I see him winning with power. Long arming, right? That's what we see so far is just power, long arming, bull rush, but there's no counter. There's no like jab step inside. There's no ghost, there's no like counter move like y'all are talking about. And if we ain't seeing combinations, because it's like hooping, bro. Like if you don't have anything besides your crossover, you're cooked. I'm just gonna make sure you're dribbling with the other hand, bro. Like you're cooked. It's easy, So
Tyree don't even got a crossover though. That's the thing. Right?
No,
he got a
bro,
crossover.
It's not. He got driving to the hole. He driving to the hole.
He dribbles with one hand and just got a hook shot, man. That's all you got, man.
And like you bring up Max and the things that like when Max talks about like guys he wants in a team, like it's always the exact opposite of guys like Tyree's like, man, I want guys that are high motor, guys that are got good effort, that are aggressive on the field and yada. Like you see none of this out of Tyree. Like Tyree's one of those guys where he's okay with being blocked. Like he gets blocked and he's like, okay, well, dang, you won, you got me. Like nah, bro, like you can't just like he just gets stuck on blocks. Like you gotta defeat these. Like you gotta be like driving and doing everything you can like until the end of the play to get off these blocks. And I don't see enough aggression, enough of a motor. I haven't seen enough of any type of like development of a move, right? Outside of a bull rush. Like what else do you have? You have a bull rush and then what else? Like a bull rush. People talk about, oh, we had this many sacks last year. If you look at all the sacks, it was either unblocked or they came on stunts where Adam Butler was a pick man and he was unblocked. So it's like, he hasn't like I haven't seen a play where he's like, man, he really dominated this defense, this offensive lineman on this play. Like I haven't seen it at all. So it's get to a point where it's like, man, like I said, like you got to put up or shut up, man. I don't want to hear no more excuses, no foot injury, no nothing. It's you got to put up or shut up.
I feel like the game's slowing down for him, but he's just slow as hell, bro. Like you know what I mean? He just can't really like I feel. Because there was a play I think we played the Cowboys in the preseason.
Severe called it too,
I think,
bro.
It was Dak Prescott or not Dak Prescott. I forgot. It was a quarterback, maybe Trey Lance. That was
Trey Lance.
Yeah, you know how he had that bootleg. He got it with you know what I mean, and then like he went around the corner.
Yeah,
I feel like we saw him not. At least I forgot what game it was. It was probably like
Trey Lance is, to be fair, Trey Lance is actually like he's a mobile QB. If you want to say anything positive about Trey Lance, that he's athletic. Like that's what he's good at, but I hear you, bro.
Yeah, I feel like the game's slowing down. Like there's little like not even flashes. It's more like like I don't know
flickers,
even how to say
flickers,
it, bro.
Little flickers.
Yeah, it's like flickers. It's flickers. It's like you turn on the light switch and then like the light bulb explodes. That type of shit, bro. Like, you're like, oh, we're almost there, but we gotta get a new light bulb. We gotta get another this. We gotta get another that, bro. It's like I gotta go to the store, get this, bro. Like it's not as much as you'd like to, but I feel like the game definitely slowed down, and he's contributing. Just again, it's not as quickly as we want it to be in ways that are impactful. You know.
Yeah. And we hear a lot of people say be patient with Tyree, but like at what point do you say like, all right, like how patient, like, all right, but like, look, he's going into year 6, guys, just hear me out, right? Year 7 is going to be hit, lucky number 7. Like at some point you gotta cut your losses. Like, you know what, our bad, we shouldn't have took him. You know, we took him too high. We felt he was going to be this. You know. Obviously, the Jalen Carter thing, we couldn't draft Jalen Carter because, you know, Mark Davis took him off the draft board because the Henry, what have you, right? But at some point, you got to just cut your losses and say, you know what, hey, our bad, we messed up. Time to move on. Let's try to locate another guy in the draft class or another guy in free agency. So, you know, it's only so much patience that you can have, especially when a guy really hasn't shown much improvement. He's shown some improvement, but it's like not much improvement.
No.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's a big 100%. Third year. Third year is usually the year where, you know, players are supposed to really show out. So we'll see what that looks like. And if he's gonna do it with any other like Pete Carroll's the guy to do it under, because I feel like a lot of players play to their potential under Pete Carroll just because he's so positive and he's that guy. You know, we seen what he did, the job that he was able to do with Geno to give him a chance to start, but also like give him confidence to play his game. And, you know, obviously the rest is history with Geno, but we'll see how it works out for Tyree. But another position that I'll say after minicamp where the Raiders could possibly look at and be like, you know what? Our receivers are pretty slow. And the guys that are fast are either, you know, a Dante Thornton that he needs to work on a route outside of a post or a go route, and a Trey Tucker, who's the world's first. I don't even want to take it there, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, he's not the biggest receiver. You know what I mean? He's not the biggest guy. Amari Cooper's out there. And there's been Mint, I'm gonna let you take this, man, because Amari Cooper has been connected to Amari Cooper has been kind of connected to the Raiders. There might be a little bit of interest there, but it looks like you're not a big fan.
Hell no. I don't know, bro. We got. It's like when you're a parent and you have a child and they're like, "Oh, I want McDonald's." It's like, no, we got McDonald's at home. You know what I mean? Right. It's like, I don't know, bro. I feel like Jack Bash does everything that Amari Cooper does at this point in his career at a level that has higher upside. And I don't want to take away from reps from him to develop this year for, you know, Amari Cooper, diet Amari Cooper at this point in his career. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I could see like maybe adding some speed, but we got Tommy touchdown, bro. What we worry about? We got 4-3 Tommy touchdown coming in. You know what I mean? Exactly. we got 3 of them things now, bro. Come on now. But
okay.
But I feel like if anyone goes down with injury, that's when I'll start to consider, you know, getting someone that shapes up. Because I mean, I feel like Gabe Davis would be someone that I would consider more from a size standpoint. Because we're trying to, like, it seems like we're building a basketball team a little bit as far as physical guys on the outside that could win. I feel like he fits that bill a little bit more. But I don't know about adding a wide receiver unless someone goes down again. Because, I just feel like there's a lot of dudes with upside that we need to see. We need to see develop. And can Thornton actually run a route tree? Because, I mean, Tennessee just doesn't really call those plays, man. Everything's on the outside. Everything's wide hash, you know. And I feel like maybe he has something. Like he may have tight hips, but bro, like we can work with that, you know. He has some paddles for hands sometimes, but like we could work with that, you know. Like let's see what we can do. But that's where I'm at.
I was telling Severe the other day, like Thornton, when I was watching him like play, and it's like it's the way he catches the ball. It doesn't give me a lot of confidence. Like I feel like He's about to drop it. Oh, he got it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of the classic speed guy, but he tracks the ball well. I mean, he's able to go. I've seen a few times where he's able to go up and get it over whoever is guarding him. So it's not like he's not afraid to. He's not good at that, but it just doesn't look as strong as like a Jack Besh. Jack Besh, you could tell like he's gonna attack the ball in the air. He has a lot. Obviously, his hands are stronger. Same thing with Jacoby Myers. Strong hands. Yeah. Maybe I'm expecting too much from a Dante Thornton, who obviously needs to get better. But what are you about to say?
No, I was gonna say first thing I'm doing with Dante Thornton, I'm bringing him in, getting an eye inspection done on him. Like, you good? Can you see? Because like that's the thing. Like, bro, I had bad eyes when I played football until I got contacts, and it was like that. I was like jump scared. You looks like you can't catch the ball. You know what I mean? And like I'm hooking him up with Trey Tucker's guy. I'm like, hey yo, get your eyes fixed. Let's see if that's a thing. But I agree, it just doesn't look natural. Yeah, bro. It's like you're a professional athlete, big dog. Like, come on, that's the least you could do. But I don't know. I agree, though. It's funny when you all were breaking it down. He does look like he just is learning how to catch the ball for the first time.
Man, I was like, I'm like, man, like all his, like not all, but like it's just a few catches where I'm just like, why is he catching it like with his like his fingertips? He doesn't like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just nitpicking, but I mean, Jay, I feel like Mint, you're for the youth movement. You're like, we shouldn't bring these old guys in. We shouldn't bring these old vets. Let's develop the guys that we have in the building, and just go from there. And even if like after minicamp you see that we could possibly need a guy here, you're saying like let's just develop the guys that we have in the building. Because training camp before the season starts, you know, a lot can happen from minicamp to training camp. You know, a player can get better, get more accustomed to the system and whatnot. So I see where you come from. Jay, are you with Mint right now? Are you kind of like the youth movement, or you want to get like a veteran in there? In any position?
A little. I mean, I'm 50-50, to be honest with you. You know, there's certain positions where you do need a veteran presence, and there are some that you don't, right? You know, with bringing Mari Cooper, I honestly wouldn't. I mean, we just went out and got 4 receivers if you count Colin Johnson. You know, he's a depth piece at best, but we're good. I mean, you know, you got Brock Bowers, right? You got Jacoby Myers, you got Jack Bash, you got Thornton who can stretch the field, you got Trey Tucker who can stretch the field as well. So I think we're good on that, but there's certain positions, you do need a veteran presence on there. Like we went out and got Moser, and he's a good complement to Genty, right? Who's just coming into the league. He's going to be a workhorse, but he's going to be, you know, really coaching up this dude and showing him how to play really in the league and what to look out for and all that. So it's important to have it in certain positions, and I think we already have it with Jacoby. I think he's going to be really running that wide receiver room. I don't really think we need that big name yet. Right now, like Mint said, we kind of need to develop our guys as far as offensively with the receivers and the running back with Genty. We need to develop those guys. I think next year, this is where we can go out and spend some money. Because mind you, if we go out and get Amari, we still got to pay him anywhere from 18 to 20. That's still a big price tag, you know. And we got about like 42 mil right now currently. Yeah, that's too much. So got to think about those things too. So I don't think they'll actually pull the trigger on Amari and having to spend some, you know, around that range.
Or even you said this before the show, Gabe Davis, and someone in the chat talked about he's also a free agent. I already know Mint's gonna be like pass.
And I think Mint brought him up.
I'll pass through. Yeah.
I'm looking into that later. I'm looking into it later. Like I agree with Jay. I feel like we need to evaluate what we have before we start adding. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's my point though. What I was trying to say was like if after minicamp, you know, the Raiders look at the team and be like, you know what? I know we wanted to develop the linebackers, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to like have it improve the way we want it to improve between now and the start of the season. We might need to get a guy out, whether it's or wide receiver, maybe because, you know, hey, NFL is tough, man. It's a whole different speed. Some of these guys maybe not be ready right off the bat. And it's not just wide receiver. It can be corner. I know Jay, you mentioned like nickel corner is a spot that like Darnell Holmes, I don't know, that's and me severe. We talked about it early in the offseason was like Nate Hobbs was a guy that when he looked at his contract, you're like, that was a doable contract. I don't know why the Raiders couldn't find a creative way to make it look nice from the outside looking in, but then at the end, when you look at the numbers, have it be similar to what Green Bay, because Green Bay kind of made that. It was literally essentially a 2-year, $16 million deal.
Yeah,
$8 million a year for a Nate Hobbs, who yes, he can get hurt, but when he's on the field, he's your starting nickel corner. I mean, Severe, are you with everybody right now? Like wait and see, or is it like youth movement, like, or do you want to add like a veteran at some point at some of these positions?
I think you got to be calculated, just because you want to give these guys, the young guys, an opportunity. We got Amari Gainer, we got Amari Burney, even Tommy Eichenberg. You want to give these guys an opportunity to prove themselves, but at the same time, you don't want to depend too much on what you see in mini camps and OTAs and training camp, because remember, like all the talk last year in these off-season workouts and stuff was how good Dylan Lobby was, how good Tommy Eichenberg was, and neither one of them was able to contribute anything at all, right? So
nothing.
Nothing. And then we always heard about how much Trey Tucker is impressing and how great he's been looking, and what did he do during the year? Nothing. So you really can't depend too much on what you see right now, because once these guys really line it up, that's like when you really see what these guys are made out of. Like I'm not even sold that Trey Tucker will be on this team. Like that's where I'm at right now. I'm not sold Trey Tucker will be on this team.
I think he'll still be on the team. I think he'll probably be. You might see him a lot on special teams. I think you'll probably see. That's where you see him at.
If he is on, it'll be just because of that. Because if you look at our moves, right? Look at Jacoby Myers. He's a receiver. He's 6'2". Jack Besh, receiver, 6'1". Colin Johnson, who we just signed, 6'6". Kyle Phillips, we signed, 5'11". Dante Thornton, 6'5". Trey Tucker, 5'8", 5'9". Like he is one of these things is not like the other.
Ashton Genty, 5'8". Forgot about it.
Exactly, right? Well, but he ain't playing a receiver. But I hope he might have to. He might. But so you look at the rest of our receivers. Even Brock is what 6'4" or whatever. Big Mike, he's a big dude. The guy we converted last year, whose name escapes me, that was converted wide receiver. He's a taller dude. So we got all these,
Shorter, right? That's the last name.
Yeah. Justin Shorter. So we got all these big weapons, and then you got Mini Mike over here. Like I said, I'm not so. Even Kyle Phillips is a bigger slot receiver, and he's already familiar with the kind of things that Chip Kelly asks out of a slot receiver. So I've seen Chip work with these smaller guys that are questionable route runners and have questionable hands. I saw it at UCLA, but this is the NFL. This is the big boy leagues, and he's not at a program that's kind of struggling financially like UCLA was, and it's harder to bring on recruits where you have to accept these guys that have maybe one exceptional trait and all these other flaws. Now you're kind of dictating who you bring in, because you can sign these guys, you can give them a certain amount of money, you can pick up players in free agency, you can dictate who you pick in the draft a lot of times. So he doesn't have to settle for these guys anymore. So does he settle for a guy like Trey Tucker that hasn't been able to prove that he understands where to be on the field, that he can run a route tree, that he can be a reliable guy catching the football? So that despite his speed, still has trouble separating. Like he doesn't have to accept these guys anymore. So the question is, does he see enough, or does he see Trey Tucker's speed as enough of a necessity to keep him on a roster? That remains to be seen.
I think that we as Raider fans haven't really gotten a great evaluation of Trey Tucker too, just because he kind of got nerfed from the quarterback play last year. Because it's kind of ironic too, because he's so small, but he wins outside a lot. If you look on film, he's lining up outside a lot. But I mean, I agree with you too. I think that if you have folks that are sizable competitors that are able to do what Trey Tucker does, then he's expendable at that point. But I feel like just the way that Trey Tucker's built, how locked in he is, I feel like Pete Carroll is going to actually like him a lot. But I mean, liking someone a lot doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make the team per se. But I do feel that like Trey Tucker's skill set it could be unlocked by having a quarterback that's actually competent, has an accurate arm to find you downfield, and allow for him to shine a little bit more in the offense. Because I mean, when you have guys like Gardner Minshew getting to you late in the read, you're winning early, and you're a small guy anyway, so like that size difference is going to make those windows obviously like shrink quicker. And I feel like we saw a lot of that last year. But again, I agree with you too, Severe. I feel like he's not a need, or not a need, not necessarily a need. I feel like he's just expendable. He's not like a permanent make it on the roster. I can see him being a cut. But
a guy like Trey Tucker, you could see him like at a number 3 receiver, or actually, if you think about it, the 4th, 5th option on offense. If you just think about who's the number 1 option on offense, it's obviously going to be Bowers. Then you got to think about Genty's about to get the ball like about 20-something times. Yeah. And then you throw in a Jack Bech 2nd-round pick. I'm sure they're going to try to get him involved. And before even a Jack Bech gets involved, a guy, Jacoby Myers. And then you throw in Trey Tucker. I mean, I wouldn't mind Trey Tucker as a 4th, 5th receiver. But when you start saying that he got to start, like he's your number 2 receiver, number 3, it's just that his game doesn't feel like it's a slot receiver game. He just feels like he's an outside receiver. Just because he's small, they're putting him inside. But it's like, I don't know, man. Like, you would want a guy like a little bit more wiggle, a little bit more, side to side, shifty. I think Renfro all those years kind of fit that slot receiver. And then a lot of the guys on offense, what do they keep saying? Jack Bech's a big slot. Brock Bowers can play in the slot. So where does that put Trey Tucker?
They got Tommy Mellott. Yeah, they got Tommy Mellott. We haven't even really mentioned him.
Yeah, Mellott, he's well, I mean, do you think he can make that transition that fast? I mean, I know we laughing about it, but I think it's good. Don't you think?
I guess so. That's what they're thinking. Like we're gonna go ahead and switch him up to that. So
he played running back. Receiver. He played running back before he became a quarterback. He was playing like safety, running back. He was running back punts as a freshman, and then they transitioned to him, I think, his sophomore year and made him quarterback because they needed the ball in his hands. But he sounds like a type of dude that just played everywhere on the field in high school. Because I mean, you know how it is. This dude's probably from a small town where he had to go 2 ways. You know what I mean? Like
he's from Montana. Ain't too many 4-3 guys in Montana. So
they playing 7-on-7 out in Montana sometimes, bro.
FCS football, man.
Yeah, so I feel like him catching the ball is not going to be necessarily like a crazy concept, but I feel like Jack Bech is going to line up outside actually more than because obviously he's of a paler persuasion, so we think that he's going to be inside a little bit. But I feel like bro is going to actually be playing outside because he wins outside. He can win deep too. I mean, not with speed, but just with subtleness within his route tree. I mean, it's Big 12, so we'll see if that translates. But I think Jacoby Myers is going to be this Mr. Slot, bro. Like, Jacoby Myers is nice in the slot. I mean, he just has everything you need to be efficient there. He's able to also be physical in the run game also. But I feel like he's going to be the primary target in the slot. And then obviously Brock Bowers moving him everywhere too. But I feel like Jack's going to be outside.
Yeah, and Spytek kind of let it out the bag a little bit because if you hear him in his pressers and he talks about Jacoby name comes up. Yeah, Jacoby in the slot is going to be big for us. Like, it's like, oh, okay. That's the plan for him is to be inside, which he came from New England with that level of versatility. Playing outside and inside. That's like one of the things that, they liked about Jacoby coming in. So, but then it's just interesting, like, where does that put Trey Tucker? Is that where they kind of move him outside and like, but maybe a more accurate QB is going to be good for him. For a Trey Tucker who he's not going to go up and get it. His window is really not going to be that big as far as like his catch radius is what I'm talking about. Like, it's not going to be that big because he's not that big. I'm not sure if did he have a big vert coming out? I mean, I don't think
Tucker?
it matters. Yeah, like alligator arms, but so it don't even matter.
I don't remember if he jumped. I don't remember if he jumped or not. To be honest with you, he probably didn't. He might not have jumped. But
man, we talking too much trash right now, man. This is crazy. I gotta stop.
I mean, I think last year his snaps were like outside and in the slot. They were like pretty even. Like they're basically even. So but that was low key out of necessity because we lost Devontae. Kobe was hurt some. So we kind of didn't have much of a choice but to play him. Like outside. So in a situation where we have more guys that can play outside, do we utilize Trey Tucker outside as much? I'm not sure. So, but like I said, if Chip Kelly thinks he's useful, I've seen him make Kazmir Allen turn that guy into like a gadget weapon type of player. So as a guy that he had feet for hands too. So we'll see.
Right, man. Shout out to Coach, man. Appreciate the super chat. He says, sucks they got better, but will only win 6 and 7 games, man. Golly. He's just calling it like how you see it, man. 6, 7 games. I do feel like Geno's a huge. I feel like Geno is a huge improvement from what we have. But damn, it is going to, man, AFC is going to be tough. AFC West is going to be tough.
Magic number, I think, is 9 and 8. But he's not that far off. I think our bottom is probably 7 and 10, and I think our ceiling would be 10 and 7. But I think that magic number will probably be 9 and 8. To be honest with you, if we can get to that point, I think it'll be a very successful season. But we are definitely winning more games than last year for sure.
Yeah, I mean, y'all could chime in on this, but usually when you have a lot more questions than answers when it comes to the team, it usually means that it's probably going to be like one of them years, like Coach is saying, like 6, 7 games, maybe 8 at best. You know what I mean? Because it's a transitional year, man. I don't know, man. I just see 2026 is going to be the year where I'm like, all right, Raiders might have squad this year. I mean, but Mint, what do you think?
Yeah, I think they're gonna win just enough to keep us interested. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be there, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed every Sunday, just like I was when they were 4 and 14 or whatever the hell it was this year. Like
they're
I'm
gonna be
watch
more
my
interesting
boys
to watch.
Regardless.
Right,
they will be.
Right. Yeah,
and
way more interesting,
hold
bro.
us over.
Man, way more. Like last year, it was hard to watch. Like it was like literally Brock Bowers was one of them. But that's about it on offense. I mean, Jacoby, you could throw Jacoby in there, but man, we didn't have no run game. Just everything was just ugly on offense. I mean, obviously when we got Getsy, it kind of got a little bit better, I felt like, but that's not saying a whole lot. You got Aiden O'Connell and Minshew battling it out. Even who was the other quarterback we picked up in midseason?
Ritter.
Atlanta.
Ritter.
Desmond Ritter.
Desmond Ritter. Yeah,
Desmond Ritter. Ritter.
Yeah.
Cooked.
I mean, Severe, where do you think the Raiders are going to be at? I mean, it's an early prediction here, but how many games you see?
I'm in that 7-8 range, to be honest with you. And that's assuming health. Because that's assuming, like if Geno Smith goes down, bro, we might be through, man. If Geno Smith goes down, we might be through. But I don't think we'll be a bad team. I just think that it's his first year. We have a pretty tough schedule. The AFC West is tough. San Diego got better. I can still call them San Diego. San Diego got better. The Broncos got better. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. So it's not going to be easy just off our division alone. And then, we're still not sure about interior offensive line right now. Is it Alex Kappa and Meredith? Is it Rogers who we just drafted? What does Glaze look like in year 2? Can JPJ stay healthy? Because he got nicked up a few times last year too. Max finished the year on IR. Kuntz finished the year on IR. Jakarian finished the year on IR. So it's a lot of question marks. So it's too many variables to say we're going to win like double digit games in my opinion. Like everything will have to kind of break right.
Jay, how many? You said about 7 and 10 is the bottom, and then Mint, you said
ceiling's about 10-7. But I think the magic numbers. Yeah, I think the magic number would be like 9 and 8, and I think if we hit 9 and 8, that's what you can really consider a successful season. Like
Jay,
everything goes
a positive guy, man. You're just such a
everything
guy.
Goes right. I mean, I'm being real. I mean, 7 to 10, I think it's more realistic than anything.
Yeah.
I don't expect us to go 4 and 13 again, but we definitely winning more games for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
Would be way more entertaining. Chip Kelly's going to be entertaining.
Man,
Chip Kelly's going to make it entertaining.
Yeah, 100%.
Because last year, last year just reminded me. I don't think it was as bad, but it reminded me of the dark ages, like of the 2000s. After that Super Bowl run, and the Raiders just went downhill. The Javon Walker signings and Andrew Waltrap quarterback, and y'all know where I'm going with this, man. 2-14 season, like it just a little bit, where it was very hard to watch on Sundays. But
the Jeff Garcia Raiders, bro. like just random eras, bro. That was terrible.
Did Jeff Garcia play?
Yeah,
he played in the regular season.
He was there with Jamarcus. He was there with Jamarcus.
But did he play in the regular season? He
must have played once. I think he had to play one game, but he was washed by then. It was crazy.
Oh, man, I used to roast Niner fans because I always be like, man, this is the ugliest quarterback, because his game was very like just scramble. I think we lost Mint, but let's see, let's get it back. Yeah, his I was just saying that Jeff Garcia, his game was just super like dink dunk, like try to
mad
scramble.
Sassy.
It was very. He didn't have the strongest arm. But he did have Terrell Owens. Just give the ball to him, and then he'll take it to the house, obviously. But that's a whole different conversation. But shout out to Raider Nation 510. He's just going out and just pretty much laying it out as far as who he feels like is going to start. You got Jacoby Myers. He has
Colin Johnson.
Oh, you got Colin Johnson started number 2. Wow. Best is going to be number 3. 4 is going to be Thornton Phillips. And then you got McAllister at number 6. So Trey Tucker is going to be the odd man out. That's pretty much what he's saying here. Interesting. Okay. Man, I would think that Best should be the number 2 receiver just because they got him at number in the second round.
Not even Mallet.
He's calling it. We're going to remember this moment, man. Where's Tom? Yeah. Oh. I think Severe, did you call it the other day? You said that Tommy's gonna be the he hurt his ankle last day of training camp. They stashed him in IR. Is he gonna be one of those guys?
The Dalton Wagner stash of the year.
Yeah. Nah.
I can see that happening. Especially if they want to protect him and don't want anybody to try to snipe him off the practice squad, which I don't think will happen, because if you sign a guy off the practice squad, I think you have to sign him to the active roster. You can't just sign him and just try to stash him on your practice squad. So even if we throw him on a practice squad, the fact that he's making that transition from quarterback to like a wide receiver type of role, I think he'll be safe, at least for this year. But I can definitely see them trying to stash him.
The Tribe says Trucker has too much speed to be the odd man out. Hey, you know what I mean? It's and this is Trey Tucker's third year. His third year.
Yeah, he's same year as Tyree.
Yeah, same year. So this is his third year too. So maybe he makes a jump. Maybe he balls out during the off season workouts and then training camp. So we'll see, man. It's a whole lot of off season left. Mini camp is pretty much here. It's tomorrow. We're gonna be here next week, man. Make sure to tune in. 50-50 show every Tuesday. Man, I appreciate my guys, Mint Beats and Jay Raider, coming through and talking Raider football. I mean, we could be here all day. We're big fans of the team, man. Y'all support the show, as well as, Jay has his own podcast. Make sure to check him out. Just Raiders Baby podcast. Is that how it's laid out on the channel? Just right.
Yeah. Just so the way it is at the bottom. That's, if you guys go ahead and look it up, you guys can go ahead and subscribe to that. had you on the show a few weeks ago, and it was a great show.
Yeah, man.
So.
Hey, man, it was a dope experience with Rundown. Obviously, y'all got to get Severe, man. Y'all got to get Severe up there, man.
Yeah, hopefully I get my boy maybe this weekend. I don't know. I'm gonna try to still away for like an hour or so.
I'm trying to make it happen. I'm trying to make it happen this Saturday. Hopefully everything breaks right.
Yeah, and then obviously Mint Beats, man. Hey, they don't call them Mint Beats for no reason, man. So let the people know what you do, where they can find you, what to look forward to, all that good stuff.
Yeah, bro, I appreciate y'all being here or having me on, man. It's dope to make this full circle journey, man. I remember calling into the show early on when Ray was on here.
Yep.
Yeah, and the production quality of the show is just super high. I really appreciate what y'all do. Jay, I'm gonna tap in with you as well, man.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, bro, if you want to tap in with me, mint.beats on everything. I make music, I make beats, I rap a little bit, I review albums as well. But yeah, you can find me on all streaming platforms, mint.beats. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, whatever you tickles your fancy, I guess. Pause. But anyways, yeah. Appreciate y'all having me on.
Pause.
All right, Shannon Sharp, tickling fancies.
Hey, man.
Oh, man. Severe, man. Let the people know where they can find you, what to look forward to, all that good stuff, man.
You guys know what it is, man. The Severe Raider here on YouTube, on the IG, on Snapchat, on TikTok. Still on X, man. Still holding strong on X, man. And it's just Elon Musk will kick me off next week. But you guys know what it is. Every Tuesday, rocking with my guys, Chris from Protect the Shield and 805 Raider, as well as the world famous 50/50 show with Pharaoh. Then Thursdays, we're coming at you guys with the Round the Shield. And then Sundays, I'm back in the war room with Chris from Protect the Shield and 805. And then, hopefully this Saturday, man, everything breaks right. Tapping with my guy Jay Raider, regardless, even if I'm not on there. But hopefully this Saturday, I'll hop on with Jay and run down.
Yep. Good morning, Raiders. We go on at 10 a.m. Pacific. We just had Mitch Renz on last Saturday. So fire show. Dope. Good morning, Raiders. Good morning, Raiders. So make sure you guys tap in with my guy, myself and my guy Rundown. So hopefully we get Severe on. We're going to really try to make it work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, yeah, Mint, man, we got to get you on here soon, man. We gonna tap in with you after the show. But yeah, man, great show, great conversation. We appreciate everybody coming through.
If I come out of retirement, man, I'm gonna holla at Mint for some beats, man.
Hey, say less, bro. I got one for you. I got one for you.
I gotta get at my Mint. I gotta get at Mint to make me an intro song. There you go.
There you go, man. Bro. Tap in for real.
Raider Race is still waiting for Severe to get that Tommy Eichenberg interview on. Man, I don't know. I think Eichenberg, that's not going to be a nice conversation. It's not going to be a nice conversation, but it is what it is, man. But, man, we appreciate everybody coming through. If you haven't already, make sure to clock in at this point. Clock out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Man, it's been a great show. Any last thoughts before we head out?
Right, Dubs and 6.
Dubs and 6. It's not looking too good right now with my guy, Curry out right now. But hey, let's hope, man. Hopefully they can thug it out and figure out a way to get it in. But hey, Severe, I haven't seen a Laker hat in a while. I don't know why.
Oh damn!
I haven't seen.
Look,
it's been a while, man.
I'll still rock mine.
We ain't gonna talk about that right now.
I'll still rock mine. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens. We'll see what happens middle of next week. We see if we still have that same energy.
I know, right? I know, man. I'm talking trash, man. We out of here, man. All right, y'all. Peace.
Just win, baby. Hello. You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.